Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at some pitching for today, the 7th of April. It is Monday. We do have a 7-game main slate ahead of us this evening. A couple early games today as well, but uh, we're just going to focus on the main slate ahead. We do have some interesting pitching. Pool should be pretty easy to narrow down from my first look prior to starting this. That reminds me, this is a first look pitching video. I can't stress that enough. We're just trying to find ways to cut some names out of our pool, find some names that intrigue us based on some Vegas numbers, etc. Uh, prior to digging in as the day goes on and learning more about these pitchers, and then obviously seeing the lineups that they're facing as well. And I will be looking at DraftKings since that is where a majority of my action is. If you play on FanDuel, I'd cut my pool into about a half. Like I mentioned every time, pricing isn't as tight. It's easier. I shouldn't say it's easy, but it's easier to get the stacks you want with an upper level pitcher. So that said, let's take a look at some of the odds here. Get an idea on some of these matchups. The first thing I want to point out, the Marlins, I'm seeing Belozo as the pitcher, or Belazo, or um, Alcantara was going to be pitching today after yesterday's postponement, but it sounds like he's going to be placed on the paternity list and be out for the next few days. So we will want to pay attention to who Miami's throwing out there, but Vegas has this strongly for the Mets side and Kodai Senga. Senga obviously going to be a huge piece that we look for. Minus 278 favorite, game total of 7. We'll get into some of the other props here as we go through, since it is just a 7-gamer. But the big game for me on this slate in Wrigley, the reason I have the weather station up here, in the 30s, winds blowing in strong from right field. Hitter rating in this park, a 2. Pitchers are in a great spot for this game. And we get Evalde, who's arguably been the best pitcher in baseball to begin the season. I think that's, I mean, he's coming off of a complete game shutout. Gets an extra day of rest as well. Not like he overextended himself. Got it done in 99 pitches. And then Justin Steele, who's hasn't been that great through 3 starts, but has gotten better from a fantasy point perspective. Pitch totals are just not increasing all that much, which is a bit of a concern. But like you mentioned, that weather is leading to a total of 6 with juice on the under. I don't know that I've ever seen a total below 6. So it'll be interesting to see how that moves. I just don't think it'll drop to 5.5. Um, I don't think the wind's quite strong enough for it to do that. I mean, 20 miles an hour is pretty strong. But as you see, Steele's actually a minus 125 favorite. So that kind of stands out. It'll be interesting to see the win odds for these two as we get there. But we're going to go down. Lorenzen does intrigue me a little bit. I'm just not sure I'm going to get there. He's a minus 120 favorite. Game total of 8. The weather in Kansas City. Wind is blowing in slightly, but it's one of the warmer games on the slate, which feels really odd to say. Um, but he's somebody that might make my pool, or he could be the one of the last people I eliminate. So that's one we'll want to dig into some of his previous history with Minnesota. Probably wait and see the Minnesota lineup to make a final decision and go from there. Going down, Zach Gallen, somebody that I'm always going to be interested in when he pitches at home. He's a minus 125 home favorite. Game total is the highest on the slate at 8.5. Juice is still on the under though, so it's not really a high scoring slate from a projection standpoint. Zach Gallen absolutely dominated the Yankees offense that had been hitting a ton of home runs after he struggled with the Cubs. Uh, Ironically, his struggle came to start at home, where he was dominant on the road, where traditionally he has been dominant when pitching at home. Those 13 strikeouts are pretty impressive against that Yankee squad. I don't necessarily want to look at it as chasing that. Baltimore is a difficult offense, but they are struggling a little bit offensively right now. So I think there is upside in Zach Gallen. Be curious to see what his projected ownership is as the day goes on. Logan Gilbert, a minus 166 favorite. Game total of just over 7. I mean, 7 with juice to the over. The Houston offense mostly has struggled. They did wake up a little bit against Chris Paddock yesterday and the Twins. It wasn't really Paddock, it was more the Twins bullpen that imploded. But I think Gilbert is certainly in play. I don't know his history against the Astros off the top of my head. He did have some struggles last game against Detroit, but still struck out 10. Uh, he's been one of the guys the last 2 years that have been bet quite a bit for AL Cy Young. So he's just somebody that I'm going to play, especially when pitching at home in that ballpark. Uh, Somebody that is intriguing a little bit that I didn't write down initially that I think I'm going to add to my list here is Hayden Wesneski. Was a one-time strong prospect with the Cubs. Was part of the Kyle Tucker trade. His control was an issue against San Francisco. Uh, if you take away those walks and a mistake from a home run, he puts together a pretty strong start, and now he gets to take on a Seattle squad that strikes out quite a bit and in a great ballpark for pitching. He's somebody that I might just have to consider a little bit more because I kind of brushed him off initially, but now kind of going to bring him back. And bringing him back might force Lorenzen out of my pool to begin with, but I'm going to still break down Lorenzen as the day goes on to get an idea. But we already know that we're kind of eliminating Woods Richardson just because I don't think he has enough K upside in general. And I believe the Royals are a bottom tier team in terms of strikeouts. F1, I'm not really going to take him against this Diamondbacks offense. I like the bats too much. Uh, so that's really just eliminate a couple, and then whoever pitches for Miami as well. Um, and most likely we're going to eliminate Luis Severino. But that's, I mean, taking on the Padres, who aren't a huge K team, that's kind of an easy decision for me. This matchup here in San Francisco, everybody knows we love taking pitching in San Francisco. That ballpark is ideal for pitchers, especially at night. Now you're going to see winds blowing out to right. I will tell you that in San Francisco, out to right at 15 to 20 miles an hour is going to happen in 90% of the home games at night. And yet it does not seem to affect the baseball. That ballpark is built to where the wind does not affect it at all. So I do hope people see that and then think, all right, maybe the pitching's in a tougher spot. As you see, hitter rating still a 3. The air density is a huge thing. Ball just does not carry at night in San Francisco. So what does that mean for us? Well, that means Logan Webb, traditionally somebody that we're going to play at home, um, was strong against Houston even on the road. Now he gets to come at home against Cincinnati squad that can strike out a lot. Obviously, Cincinnati's a dangerous squad. We get it. But he is a minus 155 favorite. Game total of 7. Juices on the under. So probably the second best spot to target pitching. I would put the Logan Gilbert Wesneski matchup as the third best, and then Senga in the fourth best spot. But Hunter Green on the other side. San Francisco, not necessarily a huge K squad, and it ironically will be the second start of the season for Green against San Francisco. But he did strike out 8 in 5 innings against them, only allowed 3 hits. One mistake with a home run. That is what it is. Green's going to give up home runs from time to time, but he's on the road in this one in a great pitching atmosphere. And I believe, I'd have to go back and look, but I believe that he has struggled mostly when at home with the home run numbers. I think his Ks are better at home, but I think that's just because he's trying to take away some contact. And when you do that, you can rack up Ks, but then also you can make more mistakes. He is a fly ball pitcher. should be great in San Francisco. So maybe he does pitch to contact a little bit more this evening, and his K upside isn't quite as great, but he's still going to be a strong guy, and he's still going to have massive upside. Game line wise, Michael King, minus 148 favorite. I'm interested. I'm still trying to learn what this ballpark in Sacramento is going to be like. We did see the Cubs put up a ton of runs, uh, but the A's themselves didn't always match the run scoring that the Cubs did. I think there's one game for sure that they did, but um, Michael King certainly somebody who's got upside. We know the A's can strike out a ton. He's coming off an 11K performance against a team that traditionally isn't one that strikes out a lot. Struggled with his control in his first start of the year, but really turned it around for the second one. So King is definitely going to be in my pool. We're going to kind of switch through some of the pitcher props here to get an idea of numbers that stand out. Um, K props in front of us. Kota Sengas over 6.5, juice strongly on the over. Both pitchers in Wrigley 5.5 with juice on the over. Plus thing to see. Lorenzen at just 4.5. That's going to be a negative towards him. Zach Gallen 6.5, but juice is on the under. Seems about accurate. I'm a little shocked that Logan Gilbert's total is just 6.5 with juice slightly on the under. Uh, if I remember correctly, his second start, his total was 7.5 with juice on the over, and he obviously went over. Hunter Green 6.5 juice strongly on the over. Good thing to notice. Webb not a huge K guy. 5.5 juices on the under. Michael King 6.5 juices on the under as well. As you see, Luis Severino 4.5 juice being on the under. It's just rare that I'm going to want to pick on San Diego pitching. Uh, I do like that offense enough, and they just don't strike out all that much. Win odds, something that I've been looking at a lot more this season, just because we know how difficult it is for starting pitchers to be credited with a win these days. Um, you see Justin Steele and the Cubs are favored. But you see that Evaldi is plus 155 to get the win, while Steele is plus 195. That's interesting enough to me, uh, and it kind of makes me want to go with Evaldi over Steele in my rankings. I'm going to play them both. Like that, I can guarantee you, unless there's some massive win change in Wrigley. We go down. Lorenzen plus 145. It's pretty strong odds, to be honest. But I just don't like his other upside, so I don't know that he's going to make the pool. Zach Gallen plus 170. Eflin's just 175, so that's pretty close for a spot that I don't really like Eflin much. But Logan Gilbert plus 115, strong number. Michael King plus 110, the two favorites to get the W tonight. Hunter Green and Logan Webb at plus 160, plus 175. That stands out for me as well. Out props. This is kind of important, especially early in the season, to see who's going to go deeper into games. Surprising to see Evaldi at the juice to the under of 18.5. Basically saying a 6 inning guy. Justin Steele strongly to over 17.5. That one's going to probably move to 18.5, I would guess. Lorenzen being projected at 6 innings. Gallen 6 innings. Eflin into the sixth is my guess. Logan Gilbert under 18.5. Hunter Green strongly over 17.5. Same with Michael King. Logan Webb right around 18. We can use these to our advantage when we find guys that just aren't projected to go deeper. We have to drop them down in our rankings. Innings mean something to us. Maybe less on DraftKings because of the efficiency numbers, but they're still really important. Can't rack up strikeouts if you're not out there. So there we have it. There's the first look at the pitching options for today. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. And if you want to join us and get access to our coaches, tools, Discord, sheets, etc., I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's RAZ, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.